All right, well, here we go again. It's Friday, and you know what that means. That means it's time to max out on bench press. Just kidding. Or am I? Nah, it means it's Larsen press time. Tertiary bench. Get a little bit of a pump on a Friday going. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a good little Friday pump sesh. Good little Friday pump sesh. So we'll come in here and I looked, and it's actually of course, today is like the heaviest Larsen press day so far. I've got to do 245, so it should be interesting. We'll see. Hopefully, my elbows cooperate with me today, and then they'll get a much needed break and reprieve next week. So just need them one more day, and then we'll stop torturing them. Psych. We'll continue to torture them for the next 6 weeks. Psych. Nah, but you know, it is what it is. We're going to go in here and try to get it done. We'll see. If I have to back them down a little bit, I'll back them down a little bit. My goal is to just like complete the sets. Um, I think it's 3 sets of 5, I think. So nothing super crazy, but my elbows have screamed at me for less. So I may have to back this down to like, I don't know, 185, 205, something like that. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. We'll see. But hopefully I can just complete them as prescribed, as I've been able to do that the last few weeks on Fridays. It's Wednesday's bench session that gives me issues. Right after squatting, right after a heavy bench day and then squatting, I go into Wednesday's bench session and my elbows are just torn up, and that's the one that's been causing me the most issues. But Friday, it has been, knock on wood, has been fine. So hopefully it stays that way today and we don't run into any crazy issues. But yeah, we'll see. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. And if I have to, I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna say there. But I don't think I'm gonna be able to go for a run tomorrow. My wife is out of town, so I'm home with both of my kids alone, which is fine, but I just don't want to leave them alone. My son is pretty young, so I just want to not leave him alone at the house. Well, he wouldn't be alone; he'd have his sister there, but I mean, just don't want to do that to him. I don't know. I'm torn. On the one hand, I'm like, yeah, it's not a big deal if I get up and go early enough at like 6. If I only do like a 5K, I'm back at 6:30. He's probably not even awake yet, or he is just now starting to wake up. So it's not like he's just laying upstairs, rolling around, wondering where the hell everyone is. He's probably still sleeping. Sister still sleeping. I'm just gone on a run real quick. I get back. No one even knows I'm not going to be gone all that long. But on the other hand, it's like I probably shouldn't do that. Would not be wise. I don't know. I didn't really think that much of it. Like my wife always used to talk about this guy she was dating who would do that with his kids at the time, who were older than my son is now. How he would like go to the gym down, like literally down the street from his apartment. It was on like the end of the block that he lived on, and she would always talk about how she thought that was just crazy. And I was like, I don't know, dude. Like, I guess, but I think they were old enough to where like they could do like, they were kind of self-sufficient, like still needed someone there. Like you still had to help them do some stuff, but I want to say they were like, I don't know, like 5 maybe. And it's like, I don't know, like if they're sleeping or, whatever, yeah, I think they were sleeping. It's like, if they're sleeping, if you're gone and back before they wake up, I don't know, just lock the door behind you, but I don't know. And then I didn't really think that much of it going for a run tomorrow. I was like, yeah, I'll be back in 30 minutes. My brother texted me. He was like, hey, you want Want to do the run club tomorrow? Run club is like, him coming here, or me going to him and like just running together. Unless he was actually, I didn't clarify, unless he was actually talking about running with the run club that he's a part of. But in the past, he called it a run club, or we called it a run club, and it was just him coming to my house, and we ran like 6 miles together, and that was it. But so I thought he was talking about that. Maybe I should clarify, because if it is actually going somewhere and meeting up with a run club, then the answer is probably no. But if it was just like him coming to my house and us going to run like I can't imagine he's going to want to do any kind of serious distance. After he just did this Ironman, 5 days ago. Can't imagine he's going to be like, yeah, bro, we're running a 10K half marathon. Let's do it. I got 8 miles today. What do you got? You coming? Can't imagine that's the case. So I would imagine it's somewhere like less than 5 miles, which I would be fine with. But yeah, I didn't think that much of it until I told him that. I was like, yeah, I'll just, if we start early enough, it shouldn't be an issue. I'll just leave Austin here, and it's my son. I'll just leave him here, and it'll be fine. He was like, you're going to leave your kid alone at the house while you go run? LOL. And I was like, well, maybe I'm not. All right, maybe I'm not. I don't know. Is this a bad idea? So maybe it is. I don't know. Comment below. Would you leave your young children at home by themselves, briefly, potentially still sleeping, to be gone for 30 minutes while you went and ran just around the neighborhood? Comment below. What would you do? Am I an asshole? Should I rethink my life's decisions? Should I question the decision that I've made today? Am I retarded? Yes, but that's unrelated to this topic. So, but anyways, going into the gym here. So I'm not going to be able to run tomorrow. I'm going to the gym here. This is probably going to be it for me today, or this week, I should say. Not going to be able to run tomorrow. My wife doesn't get back until late Sunday night, so I probably will not get a chance to run. We got kind of a busy weekend this weekend too, with her gone. I'm trying to get my son out of the house tomorrow, and then potentially on Sunday as well. I haven't decided if we're going to go to church on Sunday or if we're going to go drive out to my parents' house instead to go to, they have like a little fall festival out by their house this weekend. So I guess we could always do that tomorrow, but I don't know. Part of me just wants to hang around the neighborhood this weekend and chill. So I don't know. We'll see. Game time decision, but yeah, this will probably be it for me, tentatively, as it stands right now, unless, I don't know, I change my mind. But this will probably be it for me for the week on lifting and exercise in general. So we're just going to have to, go in here and give it our all. Shouldn't be in here very long. Fridays are a pretty short workout for me. So that's the benefit, I guess, is that I'm only going to be in here for like an hour. Hopefully, but if not, then whatever, but I'm going to go outside, get warmed up, get under the bar, and we'll talk in a bit. It was a quick one today. I was in there for about an hour. Everything felt good. Everything felt pretty good. All things considered, it went well. The Larsen press actually ended up being 250, 3 sets of 4 at 250. And it felt fine. I mean, my left elbow was tweaking a bit, but nothing crazy, nothing over the top. So, here's to hoping that it just kind of goes away with time as I start to back off on the bench volume. But then everything else felt okay. I do curls today. Well, I also did pull-ups today. For whatever reason, last week I was supposed to do 8 sets of 3 pull-ups, which is 24 total. But literally every other week of the program is a 5x5. So I don't know what that was about, but I don't know. But on the pull-up note, I did manage to bang out 5x5 at my body weight with about 30 seconds of rest in between each set. So that's probably honestly a PR for me. The last couple times I ran this program, I've never been able to do all 5 sets unassisted. Usually I do Usually I'll do like 2 to 4 sets, right? Pull up like body weight, and then the remainder I do on the assisted machine with like the least amount of assistance possible. So that's usually how I do it. But recently I've been able to, like, so far this cycle, I think for the most part, like the last few weeks, which I guess would be about 50% of the program. The last 3 weeks would be 50% of the portion of the program I've done so far, because I've done 6 weeks. This is week 6, so that means the last 3 weeks is 50%. If you're tracking what I'm saying, okay. If not, we're just gonna move on now. So basically, it's probably the best I've done on pull-ups so far in my life, honestly, at least in the last 2 years. They're supposed to be weighted, so although I'll take the win that is just me doing 5 sets of 5 pull-ups unassisted with very minimal rest. I'll take that win. We can work on the weighted portion of that later, but right now it's just, it's a win to be able to do pull-ups at, I don't know what I weigh, 215. I haven't weighed myself in months probably. My scale at home broke. I thought I just needed a new battery, so I went and bought a new battery for it, put it in, and it's still giving me the same error message. So I think it's just shit the bed. It's time to get a new scale. It's an old one. We've had it for ever since I've known my wife, so 9 years now. But gotta go get a new one. Haven't weighed myself. Weighing myself, dude, honestly, just not at like the forefront of my mind anymore. It used to occupy a decent amount of my like thoughts, I guess, or it had a pretty good hold on my attention. Was the number on the scale. Even once I kind of got past the beginner phase. When I was a beginner, I used to weigh myself like every day. But I still would like take an average at the end of the week and make sure that average was moving in whatever direction I wanted it to go. And then even as I moved out of that beginner stage and into the more like intermediate phase of lifting, where, I kind of had things down. I was doing a program. Like we've been doing this for a couple years now. Even then it was like, I'm still kind of conscious of the scale and what the scale said. But I have ascended and moved on past really giving a shit what the scale says. I eat kind of for fuel. I should probably weigh myself just to get an idea. I think I'm probably somewhere between 215 and 220. I can't really narrow it down beyond that. But, might be a good idea just to know what my body weight is. But I know that I've been in a surplus. I know I've gained weight over the last 6-8 months, whatever it's been. So I'm not like that worried about it, because all of my lips feel good. I'm not super fat. Granted, my physique is nothing. I'm no Mr. Olympia, but I'm also not a fat slob. I've got muscle, and it's an athletic build, if you will. My lips feel good. I feel good. So that's really all that matters, I guess, at the end of the day, is I'm just kind of eating for fuel. And it's just, I don't know, one of those things that you just kind of eat intuitively, I guess. I mean, I still track everything. It's like I know how many calories I'm eating, but I eat largely the same thing every day. I'm not one of those guys that has this weird diet that I'm just like constantly switching up my food. I eat the same thing virtually every single day at the same times. And so even if I was to stop tracking tomorrow, like I would still have a pretty decent idea of how many calories I'm getting in. That is until I decide to, cut weight or maintain weight, or just, drop my calories just a little bit. But either way, what I'm trying to say is I don't really take what the scale says as like, it's not carved in stone for me. I realize that it's one way to measure progress of many. And honestly, that the fact that I feel good and my lifts are moving well, and we're in week 6 on like the back half of the program now, tells me everything that I need to know about the way I've been eating and, things like that. I don't really monitor it. I don't really monitor my weight too much anymore. I think that's just a phase. I think that's a phase that a lot of people grow out of, unless you're like really consciously and deliberately trying to cut or gain weight. once you get to the point that I guess I'm at, where it's like, I don't know, like I'm overall like generally happy with my physique. I'm really just eating to fuel, and so like I don't really care what the scale reflects in a sense, but I think the scale, obsessing over the scale, is just kind of a phase that most people grow out of the more involved in lifting and fitness and nutrition that they get. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but at least that's the way it's been for me. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, that, or I guess like even if you are an advanced lifter, but if you're like, Chris Bumstead, he may be a little bit more meticulous than say, Joe Schmo on the street. But yeah. So overall though, today lifts felt great. Felt good. No, minimal pain. Minimal pain. Pain was probably like a 4 or 5 on Larsen press. So it was there, but it was manageable, and we just, the very low volume that I did, even at the moderate weight, was still, it was okay. Everything was okay. I managed it. We got through it. 3 sets of 4, not that big of a deal. And then we went on to do our accessory work. So pull-ups again, win, bicep curls on the straight bar. I 8 sets of 10, 80 curls with a straight bar. I used a 50-pound straight bar, and let me tell you, at the end of that, boy, was I almost grabbed the 60. Glad I didn't, because I probably wouldn't have finished it. Would have had to drop weight. So it was pretty spicy. And then we did rear delt flies. That was a nice little pump there. Oh, did French press as well. French press. That's a good strength exercise for your triceps. I don't get much of a pump from that, but it's a really good overhead strength exercise. And then with the easy bar, and then we did rear delt flies, some just max sets. And I adjusted the seat. I adjusted the seat up today, so I was sitting a little higher than I normally do, and it felt a lot better. So I'm going to continue to do that, I think, from now on. So, and then of course I wanted to do the converging chest press. It's not programmed, but man, does it not give you one great little chest and tricep pump just there at the end, And for like the 5th week in a row, it's just been taken. So people just camped out on that thing, and I'm taking it as a sign that I just should be skipping it because of my elbows. And when my elbows are ready to be put through that kind of torture again, it will be free on a day that I'm there, and I'll be able to use it. It's just the universe right now telling me to stay away. So, not that I do anything crazy on it. I think the last time I used it, I put 2 plates on each side and did like, I think 20 reps, just nice, really nice, slow and controlled. And then I did 1 plate for like another, I don't know, 15, I think, maybe. I'd have to go back and look, but so I'm not doing anything like outrageous with it, but it's just gave me a nice little pump in the chest, the tris, front delts, just like that big warm upper body hug on a Friday going into the weekend with a nice little chesticle pump. So, but anyways, I got to go back in here. My time is running thin. I got to go in here, eat some lunch, and give myself enough time to go get my son from daycare. And then my day is going to pretty much come to a wrap, I think, once he gets home, because I'm going to have to give him my attention. So we will not be doing much more work, but that's okay. I got most of my work done. I think I have to come in here and send a couple more emails, write a couple POs, but past that, we're in business, dude. We're in business to get off this weekend to a great start. I'm looking forward to the time I get with my kids this weekend. So we'll be back on Monday. I got comp bench on Monday. We will be back then. And yeah, I guess I'll see all of you beautiful people there. If you've made it this far, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Until then, though, be safe, be good, go to the gym. Go to the gym.